Hi and welcome back. I'm still Fabian, a former automotive strategy consultant turned digital product manager. And this session today is an introduction to digital product management, covering and revisiting some of the fundamentals in terms of that's what digital product management is all about, in terms of the role of a DPM, digital product manager, the evolution of digital product management, and some of the core concepts and frameworks for this profession. And let me start by providing a definition. There isn't a kind of generic and widely accepted definition of digital product management. So the one I would share with you today is that DPM is the process of overseeing the development, enhancement, and maintenance of digital products such as software applications, websites, and mobile apps from ideation to launch and beyond. And this definition covers a wide range of aspects, and depending on the type of context, organization, specific functional or technical focus of a digital product manager, this will vary quite broadly. But there is a distinction between especially delivery management roles, which are very heavily focused on running agile ceremonies and then the kind of hands-on doing the delivery phase, whereas a typical digital product manager is really involved in the end-to-end process. So it begins with the problem framing and make sure that the problem that we're working on is the most relevant for the organization, also in light of other alternatives, in terms of discovery and scoping, that we answer the right fundamental questions to assess the value, feasibility, etc. In terms of delivery, to make sure that we continuously manage this ambidexterity of kind of short-term wins while making sure that we have a clear long-term vision that is also aligned with the wider organizational priorities. And then finally, a clear BAU, business as usual, handover of the product into clear organizational processes that are established to ensure that this product is maintained and that there are clear roles and responsibilities associated with that. And then finally, and sometimes people tend to forget about it, that there is a clear value acknowledged for the work that has been done. And this spans the entire process from initially agreeing on value principles to then at the end actually moving this into G5, the final stage of value tracking, to acknowledge the value delivery of the digital product, usually in collaboration with partners from the business and finance. Digital product management in today's world is really important for a number of reasons, especially in today's day and age that is quite technology driven. There is of course a rapid evolution of various technologies, including recently in the artificial intelligence space, especially Gen AI, and digital products play a crucial role in various industries. Some of them are technology is fundamental to these industries. I work a lot in the automotive industry, where you could argue in some respects it is still a fairly hardware-focused industry, but it's really not. And it's, of course, very evident in other industries like finance, for example, where all of the big companies and products, they are at the core technology products and differentiate themselves through the technology they implemented and nothing else really. Finally, in terms of the rapid evolution of our world, there is of course a change in terms of how businesses engage with their customers. So there is also again in automotive, a fundamental shift in terms of how business managers engage with end customers and deliver value. And also much more an ecosystem type of approach to how we work with our end customers, very much from in automotive initial sale to a continuous value delivery. And effective product management really plays a fundamental role to making this relationship a success by continuously ensuring that we meet our users' needs and staying competitive in the marketplace and achieving business goals after all. So this is on a very high and abstract level what product management is and why it's important. Moving on to the role of a product manager. And again, I'm just going to share some generic features of product managers, and this will vary depending on your context. But generally speaking, product managers act as a bridge between various internal and external stakeholders, such as customers, developers, designers, marketers, executives, and everything in between and beyond. Especially in large incumbent organizations, there will be two kind of main customers, which are generally technical capabilities, and then such as data engineering, data science, data analytics, intelligent automation, and what have you. And then on the business side, the respective functions like supply chain, finance, manufacturing, depending on your organization. Key to the role of a product manager is that they define the product vision and strategy based on some form of market or customer business research, user feedback, and business objectives. Product managers either do or help facilitate the prioritization of features. They create product roadmaps and manage the product backlog of requirements. Product managers collaborate with cross-functional teams throughout the entire product development lifecycle, and there will be a future session on that deep dives into the product lifecycle. And finally, product managers monitor key metrics and make data-driven decisions to optimize product performance, especially focused on digital product metrics that are much more user engagement, interaction focused, feedback focused compared to some of the traditional very traditional financial metrics or traditional performance metrics of products. Thirdly, I'm briefly going to touch on the evolution of digital product management. So traditionally, there is a distinct difference between traditional product management and digital product management. And again, this will vary quite a lot depending on your organization and context. One example from the automotive industry is that traditional product managers manage vehicle products, a particular vehicle model, sometimes a model year, so a particular type of iteration, and then sometimes a particular type of vehicle trim, so a particular type of product version. That's at the core hardware product, and there's very different metrics in terms of sales numbers, in terms of both to end customers and retailers and automotive, etc., compared to digital product managers that manage software products, decision products, etc., where again the metrics are very different. There has been an impact of agile methodologies, lean principles, customer-centric approaches on digital product management practice. So it's, after all, a very new discipline. I mean, with the rise of the internet and information technology more widely, this is a discipline that's really over the past 10 years has established itself as a core role in lots of organizations and has been informed by more traditional lean principles, agile methodologies, and I'm going to dive deeper into some of the agile principles in a later session as well. But after all, it's very much about a iterative evolvement around central business problems to generate more business value compared to some of the traditional approaches like waterfall, where we would gather requirements initially and have a long development phase and then deliver something in a kind of big bang. And finally, there has been a evolution of product management, digital product management, in terms of the advancement in technology, especially over the past couple of years around cloud computing, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, etc., that have fundamentally influenced, first of all, the types of problems digital product managers solve, but then also how we solve them. Just AI as one example is fundamentally transforms how we work, and in lots of cases we use AI as a tool to solve problems, but then also use it as a delivery enhancement tool where some of our digital leads would use a form of AI to actually do some of their work. Fourthly and finally, just briefly touching on core concepts and frameworks. So fundamentally is, of course, in today's day and age, agile methodology, so an iterative, incremental approach to product development that emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, and responsiveness to change over kind of rigid reporting and delivery structures. Lots of digital product managers use a Scrum framework, so an iterative framework for managing product development, consisting of sprints, daily stand-ups, sprint planning, sprint reviews, and retrospective meetings, so our typical agile cadences. Another fundamental principle is kind of lean startup, of course, popularized by Eric Ries and his Lean Startup Methodology book that emphasizes rapid experimentation, validated learning, and iterative product releases to minimize waste and maximize value. And they of course overlap somewhat, but are kind of fundamental principles that underpin some of our digital product management work today. And then finally, another framework that influences our DPM work is design thinking, so very much a human-centered approach to innovation, focusing on improving our understanding of user needs, ideation, prototyping, and testing. And this is very evident in many industries, but also in automotive, the industry close to my heart, where lots of the organizations have focused on a user-centered approach, and this is another buzzword, but essentially this means that lots of organizations start with the actual problems users would like to solve and don't necessarily just develop things and then trying to kind of fight the right problem forward. For example, in automotive, companies have really changed how they identify the right problems to solve, have done very different customer research recently, especially around in-vehicle engagement. How do users actually want to use their vehicles? How do they want this to integrate with their wider home ecosystem, etc.? And thereby they develop very different types of products than automotive companies have done traditionally. So to conclude and to summarize a couple of key points from this video, digital product management is essential for creating successful digital products that meet user needs and also business objectives. And I'm sure there will be a future session on business objectives as well. But it's essentially balancing the two and making sure that what we do maximizes business value over the long term, which inherently requires positive user engagement. Product managers play a critical role in guiding the development and evolution of digital products. And thirdly, I shared some core principles and frameworks that are critical for the effective digital product management. I would encourage you to stay tuned for future videos. I hope this was somewhat useful and has given you a little bit of kind of fundamental context to what digital product management is all about. I'm very much looking forward to your feedback and to welcoming you to future sessions. Have a lovely day and speak to you soon.